Your CPA might have told you that all of the asset protection you need comes from your LLC or your corporate entity, be it a S Corp or C Corp. Unfortunately, they're wrong. I'm sorry, CPA, but you are wrong. Let me give you a couple examples. I'm going to start with a case that's going on right now. The client owns a small business. It's a nice little business, but it's definitely a small business. One of the employees made a serious error in judgment and was terribly injured. Not just a little, he was terribly injured. It will drastically reduce his ability to make a living forever. Now, the owner of the business has a corporate entity and has taken care of it as he should, had the regular meetings, kept books, and so forth. And the business has some value. This is not a slipshod business. This is a business that's run fairly well. I'll tell you, it's run well. They run a tight ship. They're careful with their money. They buy insurance. They maintain it. It's a good little business. Has real cash value to it. The employee filed a workers' compensation claim, as he should have, and workers' compensation has paid out well over $500,000 for his care and benefit. Unfortunately, when a person in their 30s is badly injured, their losses are terrific. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 40 years of lost earnings ahead. That's a lot. The worker filed suit against the local electric company because the worker alleges, or his attorneys allege, that the electric lines are improperly placed and that the electric company should be held liable. The electric company has filed a cross-claim against the employer. Wait, you say. The employer's only responsibility is workers' compensation. Well, no. There's also a legal theory called indemnification. If I have to pay this lawsuit, you have to pay me because you made a mistake that caused me to have to pay this lawsuit claim. Indemnification. There is no insurance that covers indemnification claims. This employer is now going to spend tens of thousands of dollars in legal fees. And I think there is a strong likelihood that following paying the tens of thousands in legal fees, there will be hundreds of thousands of dollars in liability assessed against them. If the employer loses $500,000, I won't be shocked. I'll be sad, I'll be disappointed, but I won't be shocked. This employer carries general liability insurance, but every Oklahoma general liability policy excludes injuries to workers because those are covered by workers' compensation insurance. There is no insurance available that would have paid this claim. Unfortunately, the owner of this business has not done a good job of asset protection. He thought he did. He bought insurance. He had the corporate shield that his CPA has told him was all he needs. Unfortunately, when you take legal advice from a CPA, you're getting advice from someone who doesn't practice asset protection. They're not lawyers for the most part. Many of them are very good and honorable people, but when it comes to asset protection, their knowledge is insufficient. If you want asset protection knowledge, you need to talk to an asset protection attorney. Now, if you want someone to help you do your taxes properly, you need a CPA. I'm not against CPAs. I hire more than one. I like them a lot. I rely on them heavily, but not for my asset protection. Okay, enough for number one. Let's move on to number two. Client number two had a couple beers. He wasn't drunk. I don't believe there's any chance that he would have failed the sobriety test. But he did have a couple beers and he was driving. And he rear-ended another person. And they were terribly injured. As a matter of fact, they were rendered quadriplegic. This person was in their late 20s. Employed with a family and suddenly unable to care for themselves for the rest of their lives. As you might expect, the attorneys for the injured person filed suit and they won, of course. What's your defense when you rear end someone and destroy their life? You don't have much defense. The only question is, how big is the damage that you're going to have to pay? The driver had a little carpet store in an LLC. Probably was not a bad human being. Definitely was not a bad human being. But made a terrible mistake and caused serious damage. I'll bet you $100 his CPA told him that that LLC was all the asset protection he needed. What the CPA failed to tell him is that the plaintiff's attorneys are going to take your little LLC and the carpet store with it when they sue you and win. Now, if all you're shooting for is better than nothing asset protection, okay, follow the advice of your CPA. I'm with you. But if you want real asset protection to make sure that your family is never completely devastated by an accident, you need to get real advice from a real asset protection attorney, and then you need to follow up and continue to take care of your plan. Do I seem a little frustrated or angry this morning? Because I feel a little bit frustrated this morning. Because people like you who could and should do better to protect their family aren't doing it. Now, some of you are, and I appreciate it, and I congratulate you, and you're doing the right thing. But most of you aren't. There's a part of your brain that says, oh, this will never happen to me. And you're right. Right up until it happens to you. Come see us. Do your asset protection. Take care of your family. You're much too smart to run around naked in the streets like this. Do better. Okay. I'm relaxing, unwinding, trying to not be frustrated. But I do want you to do better and take care. Have a great week. Come see us soon.